You're listening to the Casual Swinger podcast. As your host, we need to warn you that the material you're about to hear may be sexual or explicit in nature. This podcast is intended for an adult audience. Now, we don't expect you to act like adults. What's the fun in that?
We're a married couple living in Florida with over 13 years of experience in the lifestyle, and we take almost nothing seriously. Casual Swinger is a variety show, meaning we'll cover everything from music to events, travel, and even the occasional hilarious screw-up. Our show is about entertainment. We're not licensed professionals.
At anything.
And our stories, commentary, and guidance should not be confused with the opinions of a licensed professional.
Now that you know, let's take those pants off and get comfy. Well, hey there, everybody. You're listening to Casual Swinger. I'm one of your hosts, Mallory.
Oh, I'm here too.
Hi. Yeah, you.
Hi.
Hey, Guy. What's up?
Oh, yeah, I was a guy last episode too.
Yeah, I know. We're just going to run with that the rest of the season, I think.
Hi,
Guy
Mickey.
seems.
If you don't know me, I'm not the mouse. I do live in Orlando.
That's true.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
He's better looking, though.
Speaking of, we just got back home.
Yeah, it was a long fucking drive, but not as long as Jay and Angie's day.
That is true.
They had a long day.
Yeah, so for the folks that don't know, we had a super secret weekend up in Tennessee with some of our favorite people in the universe, had an amazing time, and being the adventurers we are, we drove the entire way, which was beautiful, but definitely a long drive.
Yeah, I don't know if that was our brightest idea ever, but it wasn't bad. I mean, it was nice. It was a nice drive once the clouds cleared. Like, for whatever reason, the clouds just settled over us, and it was just this gray, very Caucasian weekend.
Okay, you're going to have to clarify Caucasian
It's
for
the
me.
whitest fucking place I've ever been. I mean, and I grew up in the country. It was really white where I grew up. And this was...
Were we in the
astonishing?
The foothills of the Smokies? Is that what you would call it?
Yeah, we were in the
area?
Smokies. We were in Pigeon Forge for the most part.
And it was predominantly Caucasian. A little
predominantly my fucking ass. It was every box in the crayon was that pasty white color.
Yeah, it always freaks me out, and I can't imagine being a different color creed.
Oh, right.
And
just happen to go strolling through there and stop for gas and be like, what happened?
But
I don't know.
The mountains in and of itself, the area, geographically speaking, was absolutely beautiful. The house was beautiful. I had an amazing weekend. Yeah,
it was really cool. So this whole super secret weekend was put together by Angie from Average Swingers, and it included us and Sapphic Swingers, Rachel and Tiff, and also the super secret,
the mystery guests.
The mystery guests who flew themselves in on their own plane.
I can't. I need to stop doing drum rolls.
No drum rolls.
My apologies.
All right.
It sounded like a really bad cat purr.
No?
I don't know that that's what I was looking for, but close.
You like where my head's at? Mm-hmm. Okay, how about this one?
That's better. That's what I need before I go to bed tonight.
Oh, okay. Well, the Swinger Diaries joined us in all of their sexy awesomeness.
Squeal.
And, this episode, I think we're going to call it the Casual Swinger Diaries.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, why not?
Let's do it.
Yeah, and that super secret special guest joined us for an interview coming up here in a little bit, which we're very excited about. So they joined us, and we'll talk about that more here in a minute. But Double Date Nation was supposed to join us, but they couldn't make it due to an emergency in their family, so we wish them the best, and we hope they're doing really well, and we miss them to pieces that weekend. Or we could call them Quiet and Kinky, too.
That's true.
They have many names.
They do have the Quiet and Kinky podcast now.
Yeah. Call them Dave and Andy, call them Double Date Nation, call them Quiet Kinky. Just don't call them Out of Monster, Weed, or Late for Dinner.
Yes, agreed.
Right? But, Angie did pick an absolutely amazing cabin. That was bougie as shit.
I kind of like being bougie.
Yeah.
And that's a word we heard.
To call it a cabin.
Yeah, that's a word we heard quite a bit over the weekend, too.
Yeah, it was mostly Paige. Paige is like, I get it. I'm kind of bougie. We're like, yeah, definitely. I don't think she used the word bougie. I can't remember what the word she used.
I can't remember, but it's one of the words when you hear it so many times, like it gets stuck in your gullet or stuck in your brain and you start using it.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. But that was really awesome. I do think, however, that Rachel is still clutching the steering wheel in her driveway. She got back to Fort Lauderdale and she can't get out of the car because she can't release the steering wheel.
I didn't realize, and I guess this comes from living in Virginia as long as we did, that a lot of people are uncomfortable on roads like that because they were super windy, some of them pretty steep. You have blind corners and, not hairpin turns, but some tight turns in there. And for me, after living with you all those years, I'm kind of like, it feels like home.
Oh.
And
she was terrified.
Oh man, I could see their white knuckles from the bottom of the hill.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was so funny
Bless
because we were
them.
leaving. We were going to go get some lunch. I was like, you guys can ride with us. And they're like, oh, no. We're going down that hill
No.
one more time and then we're leaving.
Yeah, no, granted, when they came up, the weather was not good. It was pouring down rain. The wind was blowing. Some of the trees in front of the balcony were rocking and bending.
Oh, that lightning strike that was right off the edge of the porch.
Exactly. And that's what they were driving up in. So if you're not used to it, plus that added weather, I totally get why it's a little nerve-wracking. But anyway, I digress.
It was so crazy. It was so fun just hanging out with those two. And
that was incredible.
They came and fucked shit up and they left.
Yeah. And we got to see Piper. That was probably the best part about it is you didn't know they had arrived. They did this whole bit with delivering the pizza, which was fucking hilarious. Oh my gosh. And you were in another room. You come out and you saw their dog, Piper, first. Your face, I'll never forget it. You thought you'd lost your fucking mind.
I literally did. And y'all were so fucking entertained. You should have had sympathy for me. So I was in another room. Guys, you know what I was? I was in the bathroom. So I come out of the bathroom.
I wasn't going to say it.
I wasn't expecting humans, or much less a canine. There was no dog there when I went into the bathroom. And I thought somehow maybe I came out and my faculties had finally checked the fuck out. So I looked down and there's this fuzzy, cute little dog standing at my feet. And so I said, well, that's unusual because I wasn't sure that anyone else could fucking see it. And then I'm like, wait a minute. I know that dog. That dog is Piper. I said, wait a minute. If that's Piper, where are the girls? And then bing, up the steps pop 2 lesbians.
Yeah, it was great.
Which was just fucking crazy. What about that breakfast?
Oh my gosh.
All right. So Penn and Paige made breakfast for everybody one morning. And I don't know that I've had a breakfast of that quality.
It was incredible. I felt like a princess. So it was a little pornographic for me because I fucking love breakfast food. I would eat breakfast food every meal of the day. I eat it for dinner when you're out of town because I just love it so much. And it's different when someone else makes it for you. That's why I love it when we go out to breakfast.
Yeah.
Because you're not a breakfast person. Would you make me eggs? Yes. Would they be edible? Up for debate.
I don't know what good eggs taste like because I don't like them.
Exactly. You don't eat them. So I'd never say, hey, make me something you don't know how to make or enjoy eating. That's a bad recipe for disaster.
Very much so. But I got to tell you, that was the best breakfast I've ever eaten. I mean, if that is how breakfast always tasted, I would eat it.
I mean, literally, I was getting wet, like eating my omelet.
You hear that, Penn? You made her wet with your breakfast.
Oh, so good.
Just crazy. So crazy. So good. I would like you to talk a little bit about the jug band that you started with Angie.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I have a video.
No.
There is a video.
Fuck off.
It exists.
It's never coming out. It'll never come to light.
Whatever.
I will sue your pants off.
Mallory.onlyfans.com. Check out the jug band, folks.
So the last night there, I may have overindulged a little bit, and we had a kitchenware jug band, like you said. I think I got out a cheese grater and a wooden spoon and some regular spoons and a bowl for a bongo. And
I wonder if Angie's going to lose her deposit.
We went to town because I shredded the wooden spoon.
You turned the wooden spoon into a toothpick. Like you were just sitting there shredding it.
That's not true,
what are you doing?
I couldn't decide if I wanted it to be a washboard or a cowbell.
Well, it was both, depending on the song.
Yeah. I really needed a tambourine. I couldn't find anything to use as a tambourine. I was really sad because the day before I got overindulged as well. There's a theme here.
As we're hanging out with Jay and Angie. Yeah. That's the fucking theme.
And so I took Jay's empty beer cans and I put almonds and salt in them so that, almonds clinging around in there would be too loud. So I put some salt to kind of dampen the effect. And they were pretty fucking good maracas. And I had set all of this up the night before and then totally forgot about it 20 minutes later.
Yet drunk, you remembered that you wanted to start a jug band.
Yeah, well, I wanted to start a band, like in general, and just have a sing-along.
So everyone abandoned you but Angie, so the two of you started a duet.
Yeah, because Angie's your ride or die kind of girl. Like, you want to do this? Bitch, I'm in. Go get it. I was like, okay, I am drunk enough to absolutely go through with this.
Which y'all did.
I do remember two-stepping before we went to bed too, or just dancing in general. Maybe Angie was two-stepping. I
finally drug your drunk ass to bed.
Yeah.
You flop down naked on the bed. You look at me and you're like, I want to have sex. And I looked at you and your eyeballs look like the fucking wheel on a slot machine. They were just going ding, 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 and all I saw was XXXXX. And I'm like, that's not the good triple X. That's the bad triple X.
No, and I remember when you texted me in bed, and I actually hate getting that drunk. I never have the intentions of doing it, but it snuck up on me.
Yeah.
So
that was kind of cool. Well, you know what? I got to talk about Swinger Diaries for a minute.
Okay. Yes. Well, that's kind of the reason we're here, right?
That is the reason we're here. This is the casual Swinger Diaries.
Yes.
It's just so ridiculous. It's so much fun. So we did get to record with them. You know, I have so much respect for them that I really kind of thought they were going to tell us no. When I was like, hey guys, I brought my board. Do you want to record?
Yeah. I got a new toy. You want to be my friend?
Well, the problem is it wasn't a new toy. It was a toy that fucking died while we were there. And it was dying, rather, while we were there. And I didn't know it till after we recorded. And I think the thing that embarrasses me the most is they were so great. They were so gracious, and they were so effortless, and they were so good at podcasting.
He even complimented our general audio quality.
Yeah, that hurts my feelings because this is the worst audio quality of any episode we've ever released.
I did it. I had the thought when he said it. I was like, wouldn't it be funny if...
Oh, no.
So it's my fault. I fucking... jinxed us.
Yeah, so here's what happened. The board, the center of our board that we used to record started to die, and it created a background noise on Penn and I's audio channels. So I went in to try to fix it, and when I went in to try to fix it, I kind of fucked it all up. So the girls in particular, their audio kind of sounds funny, like their voices are trailing off really hard during the interview. So I apologize for that, guys. I apologize to Penn and Paige. I apologize to everybody out there that's listening who loves Penn and Paige and feels like this sounds like shit. You're right, it does. And I apologize profusely. It happens. We got a new board, by the way. We're recording on it right now. I ordered it and had it in for overnight delivery to make sure we weren't late to release this episode. But that happened and it sucked. Sorry about that. Mistakes were made.
It happens. Now, you had mentioned something about your conversation with him, right?
Yeah, I sent him a text message about it too.
Did you?
Which
Good.
I did because I felt like he deserved to know. And, he's so gracious of a person that he responded almost immediately, which was great. But we kind of were sitting around having like a sewing circle of podcasters. I really don't know what it was.
It was like group therapy, I think.
It was like sharing time or something. And it just, Penn started a conversation that was really kind of centered around why we do this. Like, why did you start it? Why do you keep doing it? What keeps you going? That is not followers, that is not money, that's not notoriety. What are the reasons why we podcast in the first place? I mean, why did I go out and spend $600 on a new board and then have it overnighted to make sure we weren't late for our followers, right? And our listeners, which, I mean, there's like 3. But why did we do that? And I can tell you that the week before this trip, I probably wouldn't have done that. As a matter of fact, 45 minutes before this conversation, I wouldn't have done that. So it was a very powerful conversation for me, and it was really, really well timed, I think. So I really appreciate Penn for that. I appreciate that he created this conversation. And, Jay and Angie are just so freaking smart and so good to talk to. But it's nice to get some other voices too that we don't get to see as often as maybe we get to see Jay and Angie because we go out of our way to see them because we love them to death. But it was really cool, and I appreciated him for that. And I think that I understand why people love them as much as they did. It makes a lot of sense.
I love that something as, I don't want to say random, but as unplanned and spontaneous as that conversation was so impactful for you, and especially in a positive way. So that was a big takeaway for me.
Yeah, I think so too. Hey, we have an event coming up, and it is a casual branded event that you guys can attend. We are announcing it right here live in River City. Not kidding. It's actually Orlando, but whatever. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. Come have some casual cocks with us. I mean,
you forgot.
You know what I mean?
We're not having casual cock.
Yeah, no, we're doing an event. It's called the Casual Cocktail. This event is a virtual, so you don't have to go anywhere. You can do it from the comfort of your home. Actually, we prefer that. Because doing it in public may be a little awkward. So this is 2 hours long that we're planning?
Yeah, we're planning it to be about 2 hours long. It may run over. If it runs over because we're hanging out and having a good time, that's fine. No big deal.
Yep.
So what is it? The Casual Cocktail is a cocktail event from home that we are hosting with our own bartender. This bartender is hilarious. He's so much fun, and he's an expert at making drinks with whiskey.
He's got an awesome name too, Amadeus.
Amadeus.
Okay, come on.
Rock me Amadeus, cocktail me Amadeus.
Yeah.
But what you're going to get is you're going to get a box shipped to your house with some casual cocktail goodies and everything you and your partner need to make 3 whiskey-based drinks.
Except for the whiskey, because we cannot ship whiskey to all 50 states.
We can't. We can't ship whiskey everywhere. We didn't want to stick you with a particular whiskey. We've done plenty of episodes on different whiskeys. By all means, go grab one of them, grab 2 of them, grab all of them for all I care. You can use any of them.
Yep, and we're happy to give recommendations. In fact, over the course of the next couple episodes, we'll throw a few out there as we continue to talk about the event. But feel free to reach out to us if you have a question about it. It's going to be Thursday, June 16th at 8 p.m. Eastern. So hopefully most of you folks can join. As Mickey said, it is for 2 people, and that cost of the event is $99 per couple. So there'll be enough in there for the both of you to each have 3 drinks.
Yeah, and guys, if that sounds like a lot of money for a virtual event, I'm just going to put it out here right now. We're not making shit.
No, this is just so we can hang out with you and do something fun.
Yeah.
Oh, fun fact. For anyone that shows up in lingerie, we're going to enter you into a raffle. We're going to give away, 2 items?
Yes, we are. We're going to give away a guy's item and a girl's item. Both of them will be Wow Tech, We Vibe, something like that. So I'm thinking an arc wave for the guys and maybe a womanizer for the ladies.
Yeah, I mean, it's, we're on the cusp of summer, in the middle of June, Father's Day this weekend. We just had 30s of lingerie. I'm sure, ladies and gentlemen can pull something out. It doesn't have to be super sexy. It could be something you're just comfy in. We'll call it like a slumber party.
That's right. The casual cocktail slumber party. Show up in lingerie. That way you're already half naked, because once you're toasted, then you can just go take advantage of each other back in the privacy of your own bedrooms. But if you're interested in doing this, check out casualswinger.com/thecasualcocktail, or you can just go to thecasualcocktail.com. This website's going live on Wednesday of this week. That is Wednesday, the 11th of May. So Wednesday, the 11th of May, you'll be able to go to casualswinger.com/thecasualcocktail or www.thecasualcocktail.com. And there you'll be able to buy your tickets. Again, they're $99 a piece. And we're going to get together and do some cocktails on June 16th at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Now, I know that's a little early for you West Coasters, but frankly, any later and all of our friends over here would be in bed. So what else we got going on? We do anything else fun?
Oh, I'm so fucking excited about this because we literally just booked this today. And I'm excited to say that we are heading to Nawlins. Nawlins. In July.
We are.
Last time we went was back in 2018.
Well, but last time we went, Casual Swinger just started.
We were infants. We were noobs.
We went in there with so much swag. We handed out Casual Swinger everything.
Yeah, we were a little bit like Oprah.
We went fucking crazy. I think we're still going to bring some of our goodies because we have a bunch of shit to give away. So why not? Maybe we'll give away some koozies and some sunglasses and some fun shit.
I'm very excited to see some of our friends, meet new friends, see some people we haven't seen in a while. It's going to be great.
That's the thing of it. I think there's so many people in the lifestyle that are so excited to get out and do something fun. This is in New Orleans. It's a super, super, super fun time. It's obviously a very famous event. There's a lot of great parties. We're going in early on Wednesday to make sure you get to do the lingerie party because you look so goddamn good in it. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be fun. But hey, if you haven't booked Naughty and you want to book Naughty and you want to go with us, I recommend that you use our friend Kate's link. Kate's link is wanderlustswingers.com/naughty. If you can't spell naughty, that's okay. I won't make fun of you this time. It is NAUGHTY. So wanderlustswingers.com/naughty. You can use Kate's code and get yourself in to Naughty and Nawlins and come with us. And Average Swingers are going to be there. Swinger Diaries are going to be there. Kate's going to be there, obviously. Yeah. So she's bringing her ass over from the Netherlands. It's going to be a good time.
And it's going to be incredible. So I hope to see you guys there.
Yes, please. Hey. Speaking of Kate.
Yes. We're in the final weeks leading up to Podcastapalooza. So PCAP is right around the corner for us in Palm Springs. And there's something great that we want to announce to our listeners and our patrons for Casual Toys.
Oh my gosh, yes. So, Casual Toys is a sponsor of PCAP. We're a big promoter of PCAP. And frankly, PCAP and Wanderlust have been damn good to us.
Yes. So we want to return the favor. So we have a deal for anyone that wants to book last minute.
That's right. Because, you've got a couple of weeks left. I think we're down to like 25 days or something like that. There are a few rooms left. So we had a thought. Here's what we're going to do to help you guys make a great decision. Starting tomorrow, Tuesday the 10th, anybody that books PCAP from Tuesday the 10th through May 31st gets 10% off their room courtesy of us.
Casual Toys.
That's right. Casual Toys is going to cover 10% of your room.
I love it. Book. I love it.
And this is our love letter back to PCAP.
Yeah. Do you need anything else to make the decision to go?
Yeah. It's one of those things where, obviously Kate adds so much value. She puts so much work into this thing. She's never going to give a discount on it. And I'm like, you know what? They've given so much to us. They gave so much to us, and our people gave so much to us with 30 days of lingerie. We wanted to give back. So this is our way of giving back. 10%. We will cover 10% of the cost if you book between tomorrow and May 31st. I think we're going to do up to 10 rooms. So up to 10 rooms, we're going to cover 10% of their room.
Okay. So first 10 people starting on the 10th, 10% off until the end of the month of May.
And the way you get it is you put in code LOVETOYS.
LOVETOYS?
That is correct. Love Toys. If you put in Love Toys as your code, we will pay 10% of your room booking.
All righty, Rudy.
So
I love it.
I'm excited about that. I'm excited to do it. I'm excited to make this a part of PCAP's lore and make this the best goddamn podcast-a-palooza we've ever been to in Palm Springs, California.
Let's do this.
It's going to be so much fun.
Get wild in the desert.
Before we jump into that, though, there's one more quick thing we got to talk about, right? There's a survey out there?
Yes. So anyone on Twitter, Swingers Help, they have a state of play survey. And specifically women, if you're listening, they need your help as well. It's predominantly been filled out by men. And men, please feel free to go ahead and fill it out. But we really need the ladies' perspective as well. So if you have some time, please take it to fill it out. I did it myself personally. It took me 10 minutes.
Okay.
And that was me like really thinking about my answers.
All right. Well, that makes perfect sense. And I mean, it's Swingers Help. If you don't know them on Twitter, they're friends of ours. They're super fantastic. They're a wealth of knowledge. And this survey kind of helps contribute to them talking about how the lifestyle is growing over time, right?
Yes, exactly.
All right. Well, check that out. Let's get on with the sexy, sweet, amazing, and by the way, haven't podcasted in a year, Swinger Diaries. You guys want to hear from these folks?
Do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. Mallory, you want to tell folks where to find us?
Sure. We are Casual Swinger everywhere. You can find us at casualswinger.com. If you want to shoot us a note, that's podcast@casualswinger.com. We're on social media. That's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And if you want to check us out on the dating sites, it's SDCSLS, Cassidy, and Double Date Nation.
She's so good at that. All right, folks. We're going to be back in just a second with the amazing Penn and Paige. You've been listening to Casual Swinger Diaries.
And welcome back to, is this our episode?
It doesn't feel like it, does it?
I know. That sounded very familiar.
Casual Diaries. That's awesome.
I know. I'm so excited. We have some really special guests today.
Yeah, very much so. Everybody, welcome our friends. And we happen to stumble across these guys in the great state of Tennessee. Paige and Penn from the Swinger Diaries. Guys, how are you?
We're well. Thank you for having us. So excited to have the microphone in front of our mouths again.
A fancy microphone at that.
Oh my gosh. So for all of you out there who are listening, I'm here to tell you, if you listen to our show, we prided ourselves on saying it is the low budget version. Like all we did was buy this cheap little, microphone at the grocery store, the cheap little recorder at the grocery store, and then like cheap microphones you got from Amazon for like $30, and we just plugged them in, and then everything from there. If the audio was okay, it was only because afterwards we would edit to make it look good. But I'm sitting in front of the portable Casual Swinger Studios, and it's like these super fancy microphones and soundboards, and I'm just glad I don't have to wear those goofy ear things, headphones. Like we're
totally
low tech.
We totally do that at home.
And we do it so we can hear each other, and I do it so I can hear things like echo or background noise or things like that. But when I'm sitting with friends,
I'm not going to deny that Paige and I are listeners to your show, and we appreciate, just like your listeners do, the difference in the quality of the audio. It does. For listeners, we appreciate it. So thank you for what you do, way more than what we did.
We cannot compare. Yeah.
Well, but, obviously, first of all, my name's Mickey. If you guys don't know who the hell we are at this point, if you're just discovering the show, you're probably like, who the hell is Swinger Diaries? Because you guys have been gone for a year now.
Yeah, we actually pulled the podcast last March, and we are in retirement phase. So it's nice. It's fun. We're enjoying retirement.
So does that mean you guys get to be naked around your house now?
Well, so 2 parts of retirement happened for us. So number one, of course, is for those who don't know, I'll just recap for a quick second. If you've never heard of Swinger Diaries before, we certainly aren't insulted. We had a lifestyle-based podcast that we recorded for about 6 years. It started in 2014. We recorded for about 6.5 years. And we made the announcement in the fall of 2020 that we would be ending the show, and then we did about a half a dozen episodes to tie it up, and then we released our last episode in the spring of 2021. And then part of our way is that we're very private people. We didn't want our children to ever find it. I don't want my secretary to ever find it. I wouldn't want my mom to hear it, which Paige likes orgasms from doggy and like all the other stuff that's there. So as a result, we made the determination and told everybody that we would be ending the show and retiring it. And so it has been removed. So if you're hearing this, you're thinking like, well, I should go listen to the Swinger Diaries. Maybe they're interesting, marginally. You won't find it. We've pulled it down. So.
Yeah, you can send us an email. I know people are looking for it or got through some episodes and then we took it all down and they can't finish it. If you want to hear it, just feel free to send us an email to ourswingerdiaries@gmail.com. We do have a link.
Yeah, that's right.
There you go. So now we know how to find the lost episodes. But, it's funny. And again, first of all, thank you for being a listener of what we do. But I was a listener of you guys as well, as you were one of the first Swinger podcasts that I discovered. And I really enjoyed it. And in a lot of ways, when I listened to you guys' show, that helped me form what Casual Swinger became, right? Because, and it was, if you guys heard that was a chair being drug across the floor upstairs by Jay.
I said, excuse me.
Right? No one farted. It was just someone pulling something across the floor upstairs because we're in a cabin near Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Right now. So.
Yeah, we're having like a Swinger podcast summit
retreat.
Getaway.
Yeah.
It's
so
awesome.
It is super cool. This was so much fun, and
I've never laughed so hard in my life.
Oh my gosh, same. I got an entire ab workout this weekend, and it was my off weekend. So go me.
I found out that I have abs this weekend because they hurt.
Congratulations!
So I was really excited. No, this is super cool. But I just want to thank you guys for all you put into your show. I feel like this, frankly, this place is worse without you. You guys' stories and you guys' insights, you guys are so analytical and you really do put a lot of thought into the conversations that you had on your show.
Absolutely.
And what I wanted to ask you guys is, do you still have those conversations together? Because you had to put your heads together to put some of that content together and get out in front of folks. Do you guys still sit around and have conversations kind of like you were on the show? How do you do that? I mean, I know it brings us together. Does it do the same for you? And how did you replace it?
Yeah, we do miss that part of it somewhat. He does not miss editing. Penn did that, and that was never fun. We do miss the interaction we had because of the way our show was. We had listeners writing in answers to questions or writing in questions. So we miss that interaction with people out in the lifestyle world, but we don't miss editing and recording. But we still do talk, of course, because there's so many new situations. And this year, since we've been off recording, we still run into new situations, fun situations, sexy situations, and you have to talk about those things.
Yeah, it's like it builds up inside you, like it bubbles up, and you want a way to release it because you have all these amazing cool stories, and you're thinking, we lived it and blew our minds, but it's only fun if you can share it and tell it to other people. So we miss being able to kind of let that out. That's definitely true. But I think that the conversations that we are still having, the show was an awesome thing for us. And for all of you listeners out there who listen to this show, probably other lifestyle podcasts too, you realize that it takes some work to put it in. But the number one, for us at least, the number one benefit, the compensation for the time that was put in was the relationships that you build with all the people. It is you. It's you listeners. It's you, Vicky and Mallory, our friends who we would have never met if not for the show. So we miss that it's an easy way to make friends with people who, have something in common with us because they've heard some of our stories. So we do miss that. And that hasn't gone away though. We're still happy to say, if people are out there that recognize our voices or want to hear more of our stories or just want to meet up for a cocktail, we travel a lot. So we are always looking for.
Yeah, I think one other sad part is we felt so connected to the other podcasters in the community. And now we feel like we're pretenders. Like, okay, we're going to come hang out with the podcasters,
cool
but
kids.
we're not podcasters anymore.
Yeah,
but
right,
we're still hanging on to that thread of like, wait, we want to be in that circle.
Cool kids, yeah. So anyway, super fun. But it is a exciting transitional time of life for us for the two reasons that you already said. One was that we did retire the show, and that was a fantastic 6.5 years of our life, and we enjoyed it, and we put it away without anybody ever finding it, and we were able to take our chips off the table and walk away the way we wanted to instead of getting the alternative. So it was great for us, and we're proud and happy that it went well. And yet, we're on to the next stage of our life because this is a super exciting time for us, just like a lot of people kind of for our stage of life, which is that our youngest went off to college in the fall, which meant that we were
Empty nesters.
Empty nest for the first time.
That's
That's exciting. We are so close. So I'm going to call you for notes. What do we need to do?
For us, I think it's actually like a reverse honeymoon. Like you're in that honeymoon phase again in your home. Like you can be naked whenever you want. Sex on the table all the time.
Yeah,
I was
2
gonna
o'clock
say,
in the afternoon.
How to Have Sex on the Couch by
Right.
Paige and Penn.
Yeah. I mean, you can
We
have
get in a
sex
hot
all
tub
the
every
time.
night, have dinner whatever we want, go to, walk down and have cocktails or something like that at the local bar. Like you can do anything you want. It's so much more freedom and flexibility. And we were, of course, proud. We mentioned on the show, we have 6 children. And so we're proud to say they're all happy and healthy and grown and out of the house, which is great. So we decided, this is just a note, is that we decided in the fall that we were going to celebrate with a victory lap around the country, and we're going to do one sexy vacation every single month for a year. So 12 sexy vacations, one a month for a year. And it would begin last August, and we're, in that mode right now. So we are traveling all over.
So
it's part of the reason why we're here. I know it's super fun. We're getting our victory lap in, and we've seen some awesome fun things. And it's the reason why we're excited to have microphones on our face, because we don't get to tell anybody about all the cool stuff we've been doing.
I love it. I want to go back to what you said about the appreciation you had for having the podcast, and the symptom being meeting people in the community, in the creator space, because that was something we didn't anticipate. And I agree with you 100%. And with these sexy vacations you're taking, is that allowing you to interact and meet more people and kind of backfill what you're maybe missing from not having the podcast? Like, tell us a little bit more about these sexy vacations. Are you meeting people?
Yeah, we are. And we did the Bliss Cruise in November. Of course, it was a huge ship, 4,400 people or something like that. I don't know. It was crazy busy. But we met lots of new friends, lots of new podcasters that are out or on the boat. So we had a chance to meet them, and still had people emailing us like, we know you're going on this cruise. Are you going to have a meet and greet? Or retired.
I think
Catch me by the bar.
Yeah, I think you're definitely right about that, because we all know, those of us sitting around this table, but listeners know too, that when we first started podcasting, now would have been 7 years ago now, there were very few shows. And that was part of the motivation for us, was we felt like there wasn't anybody kind of, giving the message of, hey, we're stable, comfortable, mature, reasonable, well-adjusted, successful couple who just wants to have a little bit of sexy fun. I mean, that's all it was for us. And we shouldn't be, our message, of course, always was, you shouldn't be afraid of this, as we were before we got into it. The lifestyle is not full of freaks and weirdos and perverts. It is actually very well-adjusted, very comfortable, fun people. We're just having a little bit of fun. And so that, when we wanted to get that message out, there were so few shows back then that were doing it. In today's world, though, and I know you know this, I mean, the genre has exploded. There are literally hundreds of podcasts, many of whom are giving the same message, in many cases, much better than we could. So we're happy to bow out to, we felt like we contributed our message, and there are so many good shows now. And some not so good shows, but there are so many shows, let's just say, that are out there that are able to give that message. So it's a very crowded space, but good to know. Now you got lots of resources.
But the lifestyle is a wonderful world. And you go to Desire, Temptations, any resort, hotel takeovers, it's still easy to meet people. Everybody wants friends.
Yeah.
You can never have enough friends, ever.
Here. I say it all the time. I feel so lucky to have discovered and been supported in this community, because I don't know how I would make friends as an adult.
It is
If
hard.
I took the lifestyle away, we don't live in a culture where I can buddy up to the lady in the checkout line, especially in Florida, because we don't even make eye contact with each other. Like that's a no-no. We just don't do that. So if it weren't for the lifestyle, I just don't know how I would supplement that.
Yeah, and as a woman especially, and I think when your kids leave the house too, you don't have that automatic
The common thread with
moms club. But you kind of get kicked out of that.
A little bit. And I was never a mom's club person. The groups of women always scared me because they were never up to good. There was always henpecking going on.
They're definitely true. And the lifestyle we all know is the opposite of that.
It is totally
Everyone
opposite.
It's completely supportive of each other, particularly among women.
Yes.
It's like the women confidence boosting what the lifestyle is. So for those of you who are just not sure if this is something you want to do, it is a awesome thing for women in their personal confidence. But I think that when we on our show, we would ask questions. At each episode, we'd ask questions that listeners write in answers. And one of the questions that we asked on the show is, how can you spot swingers in the wild? If you're not at a lifestyle party, how would you spot swingers in the wild? And a lot of answers that came back to us were things like, they dress a little more provocatively. They care much more about their physical appearance. They care much more about their health and their body consciousness. And the other big thing that people would say is, if you are over 40 and you're still making new friends, that's a sign of a swinger.
That's actually brilliant.
Once you go over 40, once your kids, I met the kids, friends at the soccer game or whatever, and they become my friends because they're my kids' parents' friends or friends' parents. But after that, you just don't have that many opportunities unless you're in the lifestyle and you're out there looking for ways to make new friends. So it's a huge byproduct of being in the lifestyle.
People ask me that question, and my answer is always, well, is your wife fucking them? Because chances are they're probably a swinger. It's pretty safe bet. So you guys have another thing you do, and I think you started doing it while your show was still on the air, if I recall, which was you started a quest some time ago to knock the bottom out of the beautiful Paige in every state in this country.
Yeah, that's cool.
How's that going?
Well, that's true. So as a little bit of background there, we announced on the show some time ago. It's not a big announcement, but everyone's life changes and you grow in time. You develop new hobbies. And one of the new hobbies that we picked up is private aviation, where I learned how to fly. And we bought a little airplane. And so that plane has allowed us to really explore. And we go all the time. Now we're empty nesters and an airplane can go anywhere we want. So we have this spectacular fun time. So it was Paige who came up with the idea.
Yeah, our idea was we're going to have sex in every state. That's the goal. So the plane allows us to do that. So in August, we went and did all the East Coast, the Northeast Coast. So we did Maine, Delaware, Connecticut, New Hampshire. I said, your dick better be ready because you have got to perform. We had 6 states in 5 days. So I said, you need to be ready. Eat extra protein or I don't know, whatever you need to do.
So qualify this for me, though. So do blowjobs count? Is it to completion? I mean, do you just stick it in and go to the next state?
What's the qualification for this?
I mean, how does this work?
Well, we have always orgasmed in every time.
That's true.
Not always with each other. Some states we did meet friends.
And it still counts.
It still counts.
I like your style.
Definitely true. That trip to New England was the first of our 12 sexy trips, one in every month, and that was our August trip. And on that trip, we landed in I think it was New Hampshire, and we got up in the morning. She's like, "Okay, let's go. We have to have sex." And so we had sex, and then we flew over to Connecticut, and she's like, "Okay, tonight we're going to have sex, but in between, we're going to go over to this club in Rhode Island, which was
Couples Choice.
I've heard
Choice
Social
Club.
Clubs.
Choice Social Club, which is a fun club. It's really nice in Providence, Rhode Island. And so it was like I had to have sex that morning, and then we're going to the club. We got to have sex there, and then we come back to the next hotel. We have to have sex that night. And I was like sweating bullets.
No pressure.
We can do it.
I know we walked into that club, which actually is a very nice club, and I would recommend checking it out. They have a huge social area.
I've heard of this place.
The dance floor is very small. The social area is huge and nice because you can talk. And then they have the playrooms. And I was kind of like...
a swingers club where you can talk?
Yeah, I know.
I know. That's actually a novel
huge.
idea.
Surely you jest.
It's a huge social part of it. But we were more like, we can't really meet friends. We have to have sex. And so, like, we need to... We're focused.
Blinders
we
on.
have a mission. We must have sex in this club.
So did you look down at your dick and it looked up at you and whimpered? I mean...
When we got back from that trip all the way around, it was fully satisfied and maybe a little raw. So.
Yeah. But we have hit 42 states.
Holy
so
moly.
we are on the way. We're hoping to hit some more
right,
coming
because
up.
the month after that, in September, our trip was we were going to meet friends along the way out to a pilots convention, which was in Phoenix, Scottsdale. And so we planned a trip where we flew to Oklahoma, and we met a new couple, and we had an awesome time in Oklahoma, spent the night at their house, and tons of sexy fun, met new friends. And then we flew from there, and we went to Albuquerque, which we had a fantastic time, met friends there, stayed at their house, and super sexy friends. Then we went to our little convention out in Phoenix. Then we were able to fly to Dallas, where we met more sexy friends, had an amazing time with them, and all the way back home. So in September, our trip was knocking states off the list: Oklahoma, New Mexico,
knocking
Arizona.
friends off the list too.
Super
I know.
fun.
So do you have a punch card, a map with things in it? Like,
we
how are you
do
memorializing
have
this?
a big canvas map in our home.
Yeah.
And
My kids got it for us.
Yeah.
Our kids.
And,
But we
and you're
put
using it for dirty things?
Well, we put
love
different
it.
colored pins on
Yeah.
it
They
that
don't
like we
even know.
landed here.
No.
They
But I-
don't know the black pin means we had sex in
Right,
this state.
right.
So
Oh my
I
gosh. I
thought
think
you would
that's
do
perfect.
like little dick-shaped pins or something. You know? I mean, that's fantastic. So are we doing the lower 48? Are you guys going to do Alaska and Hawaii? And then when you get done, you're like, fuck, let's
I
go
know,
to
what
Puerto
about-
Rico.
I was going to say Puerto Rico, the Bahamas. Come on.
yeah, we are going. I'm hoping that the lifestyle cruises to Alaska come back. We'd really like to do that. Hit Alaska, and of course we'll do Hawaii, but we're not flying our plane to Hawaii. It's
too far.
So, but we will.
It's a
go
lot of
there.
water.
Yeah.
Plus, I like sitting in the back and drinking champagne and watching a movie.
Yeah.
You can't do that
That's
when you're
okay.
flying
Else
the
do
damn
it.
thing.
Yeah, that's right. So that was awesome September. And then in October, we continued our tour. We went to
Friction.
the Friction parties. That's right.
In North
Friction,
Carolina.
for those of you who've heard, they're really a very popular group. Of parties all over kind of the eastern half of the U.S. They do them in Ohio. They do them in Pennsylvania. And we actually went down to Raleigh-Durham, didn't we, for the Halloween party for Friction. So that was super sexy and fun. And, Friction parties are the one thing that everyone knows about them is the crowd is sexy. It's a good-looking crowd. And it was. We had a super awesome time.
You've really developed that brand and grown it out. I think they do an excellent job. So.
And the best part about that party in North Carolina is the hotel was like a Marriott.
Yeah.
Which is, that's never happens.
I know.
We just talked about this a few
How
minutes
sketchy
ago.
the
that
hotels are.
Most hotel takeovers are sketch because
because
of
who
the
wants
clientele.
to have people? Yeah.
Exactly, because we're dirty swingers and
Right.
they don't know that, hey, we're not the people that burn the place down and put holes in the walls.
And
We're
roaches
actually
never
really
complain about
respectful.
swingers.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is.
No, definitely not.
But
That's fascinating.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
super fun. So we're glad that
Mhm.
we did that. And then in November, we had a couple of awesome things. We did. We went to PCAP, which of course is we saw you there, right?
Yes.
Podcastapalooza, which as everyone knows is another Podcastapalooza coming up just here in a few weeks in the beginning of June. So if you haven't got your tickets or if you haven't booked the flights, you should because it's going to be epic. And we did the last one, which was in Dallas in November, Podcastapalooza. So that was super fun. We had a lot of sexy friends there. And then the next week was the Bliss Cruise.
We did
So we
back
ended
to
up
back.
So
back to
jealous
back.
of you
So
guys.
November was actually 2 trips that month. Yeah.
What's funny about that for me is we saw you guys at breakfast that day. We're like, we haven't seen Paige and Penn forever. So we went and sat down to talk to you guys. And next thing we knew, it was after lunchtime.
Yeah.
I know.
We sat
I
there and
think
talked to you guys for hours.
I think we sat there through all of breakfast, all the seminars, and then lunch, and then we were like, we should eat some more. And then I think we finally got up after that.
Yeah. We're having such a great time. I think it's so easy to get caught up in conversation with folks like you. You're so easy to talk to. Obviously very, very intelligent people, which makes the conversation even better. And you just lose track of time. And some of those friendships, those connections for me are just the best. Like where I just totally get lost. I'm super present and I just immerse myself in the moment. And because it's hard to do these days in your day-to-day life. And when you have that, it's so special.
Well, you made November a good month for us in part. We had a lot of fun in November. The PCAP was awesome, and seeing you, meeting you, and so many new, so many of our friends. And we're looking forward to doing it again next month.
Yeah, that's right.
We're
gonna see you
I'm so
again.
excited.
Lucky we get to see you again.
Yeah,
So.
What's weird about that event is it's different. Like I've been to a lot of lifestyle events, but there's something about PCAP that's just different than the other events. And I don't know if it's all of the super, outgoing, extroverted creators that are interacting with everybody and really excited and passionate about just being together with, and not even necessarily their own listeners, but one of the things that I like about PCAP, and I don't know if you noticed this, which is I'm getting around to my point, I promise. It seems like no one promotes themselves there. There's no self-aggrandizing behavior at PCAP. Everyone's just there to be together and have fun.
Socialize.
I think it's because Kate is a woman and she's planning it.
Ooh,
And I
okay.
think the female,
Girl power, bitches.
I think
Yeah.
the female planning it puts a softer tone to it, a more social tone to it, not a hardcore like we're there to have sex and hang it
it's-
out.
Yeah, there's a nurturing factor that comes with it, and I think it's a very holistic experience from a lifestyle perspective when you take a step back, because there's so many different things that you could be doing, but you don't have to be doing anything if you don't want to either. You can go to seminar, you can go have sexy fun in the playroom, you can go to the dance floor, you can go to the pool. There's just so much going on, but it's not in your face. It's a build your own adventure.
Yeah.
So
it's cheers
and I
to
think-
Kate.
Yeah, very
Right?
much
Cheers
so.
to Kate. So what came after November? You said you guys
Yeah.
did the Bliss Cruise, then what?
Yeah. So the interesting part of that, just as I said when we first started this recording, the reason we recorded for all those years was to try to tell people we're normal, well-adjusted people. It's not all about notches on the bedpost. It is not all about swinging. It is not all about having sex with strangers. That's not really what most swingers are. And quite honestly, in December, our sexy trip was just the two of us. And we flew down to Key Largo, and we spent a week at a really cute little hideaway on the sand called the Bungalows.
Highly recommend. Very
Totally fun. It
romantic.
was just romantic and sexy, and just the two of us together. And we had raunchy sex every night, remembering fun things that we've done. And there was no hint of lifestyle. There was no need for it because we just spent a week together in December.
January, we went to Temptations.
Yeah.
We've only been there once before the renovation, so it was fun to go back there and see it and see the people there. It's a different vibe than Desire, but everybody needs to try different. So we did do Temptations.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun
We
there.
haven't done Temptation. It's a fun environment for party. Everybody knows it's a great party. And the crowd is very different than other lifestyle crowds because it's so all-inclusive. First of all, it's a very international crowd. There's a lot of people from Europe that come to Temptation. It's got a pretty big
Oh, really?
reach. Yeah. It's a much larger resort than others. I mean, it's 3-4 times the size of Desire, much bigger even than Hito, and it feels like a busy place. Like a lot of people coming and going. There are a lot of bachelor party kind of single guys, in their 20s who are looking for an adventure. Sometimes,
I'm listening.
Yeah, I know. And there's quite a few bachelorette parties. Like
I'm listening.
I'm still listening.
Yeah, definitely. And this time, for anybody that knows, we've talked about it on the show before, Paige has this little fetish that she thinks is hot. When we ask the question, what's your, if you got to choose the porn, if it's your go-to porn, what is it that you like? And Paige will tell you her go-to porn is she likes watching two guys in a threesome. It's hot to see two guys. So what was unique here is that there were quite a few gay guys.
Yeah.
Dozens of them.
Nicely chiseled, delicious to look at. Hey guys,
Yeah.
with banana hammocks on.
Full entertainment at
I was
Temptation.
just loving talking to them. They were just all so fun, so kind. Yeah.
And apparently they looked fantastic.
They were very fun to look at, but they were not looking at me, but they were fun to look at. But,
However, Paige.
I was loving it.
Penn was on the menu.
Yeah.
We had a great time. We had a really good time. And for whatever it's worth, once again, we didn't play with anybody that trip. No, it was it's about the conversation and the fun and the meeting people and the partying and just, a very wide range of people, different than Desire, which is this homogeneic, heterosexual husband-wife couples. That's what you're going to find there. This is a range of people.
Oh, yeah.
at Temptation. It's an adventure.
Interesting.
Fun.
Yeah.
That's probably the best review of Temptation I've ever heard of. Mostly I hear reviews of Temptation from Hito people, and they have this expectation of a Hito-like party, and they leave disappointed.
Yeah, and I don't know that that's fair. Because
I don't think that's fair. I think you're right.
You're looking at a frog and expecting it to fly. It's something totally different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, Hito, well, you know, because your listeners know because they do. Hito is a fun, supercharged sex party. I mean, it's all the time, wild, crazy, raunchy, exciting sex party. And so, you know, you can do as much or as little as you want to in it. And we love Hito. We've been there several times, and it's a great place. But this is more like younger people who are looking for hookups, and they're not really in the lifestyle. So that was our experience.
Yeah. And I think the crowd changes, of course. All resorts do. But we did have a really fun time. What did we do in February?
Oh, in February, we went to, we did sort of like this. So what we're doing right now is we are at a cabin that set up through Jay and Angie, because of course they're the mother
Ringleaders of this mess.
And
The ringleader.
That's right. So they set it all up. And so in February, we did the same thing. We have another group of great friends that we've met through podcasting, actually, all of them through podcasting, because they're not contract recruiters, they were listeners. And so we all got together and we rented an Airbnb in Denver. We flew out to Denver and we spent most of a week with them having like wild, crazy orgies every night in Denver. So that was super fun.
Nice.
Yeah, it was awesome. We went to Scarlet Ranch. Yep, we've been there before. Super fun. That was great to see again. So February was a lot of fun. And then in March,
Back to Desire.
We were at Desire in
Our
March.
favorite.
Spent
Yes.
a week there. Very
Actually,
fun.
we went with we had some friends travel with us, and we met so many great.
Yep. Desire is always fun. We love Desire. So we did that in March. And then in April, we said, we want to go try something different, kind of like we did with that friction party. Let's do a vibe party. So if you've not heard, Vibe is in the center U.S., particularly in Tennessee, kind of Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia. They have a really big draw. Vibe is Nashville's #1 lifestyle takeover. Yeah, takeover hotel. Yeah, that's right. And so we were like, we're going. And we did the Vibe party in April. And their glow party. And it was packed.
They said Friday night was a meet and greet, and then Saturday's the actual party. No. Friday night was part one.
Yeah.
Everybody was in glow. They had the DJ going. It was like the party. And then Saturday was that, only bigger.
Yeah.
Like
Wow.
packed with people.
Yeah,
Tons
so
of
Nashville?
people. Nashville.
Yeah. So if you've heard of Vibe or you live somewhere in that central part of the U.S., Vibe parties are worth traveling to. Really, really very good. A sexy crowd, packed with people. Not the sexiest venue. It's a little sketchy.
Not nice.
Isn't that how it always goes?
Yes.
No, we were just talking about
Yeah,
that.
it was.
I think there's a big ass party coming up in Sarasota, and it's at a freaking Ramada. And it's at a Ramada in the part of Sarasota you don't want to stop in. There's a gas station if you have to, but you don't stop there. And there's a hotel, and
but
like
it's pretty
1,000 people are going,
Yeah.
including us. So.
Oh, yeah. So you'll have to let us know how that is.
Yeah, that's happening, I think, in June.
Yeah, just bring a stick for the roaches. You
Yeah.
have to. Well, they're palmetto bugs in Florida. We actually
they
call
fly.
our roaches something else in Florida.
Yeah, well, because they fly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're scary. Yeah, they're big, scary roaches that fly.
Yeah, they'll carry you away.
Yeah, you get really good at being a ninja.
Oh gosh. But just keep your shoes on in the hotel room. That's
Yes.
what I always feel like. You need to wear shoes at all times.
Yeah, yeah. I bring socks, like the dollar store socks.
Yeah, you
just so I
gotta
can throw
those
them away.
I like the grippy socks for the old people. Those are really good for having
The
sex
ones you
because
steal
you can
from
get
the
traction.
hospital?
Oh, yeah. Anytime I just grab them off the cart, I'm like, I got some fucking socks.
Sexy, real
Yeah,
sexy.
I look good in just
They're neon
socks.
yellow.
Okay. That's terrible. So Vibe parties. Now we have something else on our list. And that was February.
Yeah, no, that was
March.
April.
Oh, that was April.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right. And so, which brings us to today. We are, as we said, recording. This is in the month of May. So this is a part of our May adventures. We're in this cabin in the mountains in Tennessee with our friends, and so we spent the weekend here with them. And although our goal is to have sex in all 50 states, we never want to miss big epic stuff. And so actually next week we're getting on a plane and we're going to Europe.
Wow.
Where we will not only visit, London and Dublin and Amsterdam, so we can check out the red light district and find out what that's all about. But we're meeting our good friends and yours, Kate and Daryl from the Wanderlust Swingers podcast.
So exciting.
And the four of us are going to what is like worldwide renowned as the #1 swingers club in the world, which is in Rotterdam, and it is called Fun for Two. So we will be there 1 week from tonight.
Yes.
Oh, it's exciting.
With Kate
Partying.
and Daryl, which we're so glad they're going with us because we are so nervous about this whole another language,
Well, I
another
don't speak
country.
Dutch. Yeah.
I barely speak English. All right? So, I mean, tell me about that. I mean, do you have any nerves about the language barrier? And
in result to play, right?
Yeah, because we've met, and this is by no means, I never feel more American than when I'm surrounded by people that are from other countries, because I don't necessarily feel comfortable communicating with them, so I don't. And I think that's a failure on my part, because when I've met some amazing friends from other countries, but when it comes to play, I mean, there's certain countries that I've found to be more aggressive. Italians, for example, Mojito. We've run across them. I'm like, wow, they're really aggressive. They don't speak a word of English, but they're trying to stick their dick in everything they find. And I'm like, maybe that's all Italians. Of course, it's not all Italians. It just happens to be that Italian. It's like saying every American's an asshole. We are. It's okay. But do you guys have any thoughts about that?
Well, do you mind just 1 second? Let me say the most epic trip we ever did, and we talked about it on our show, was we went on a lifestyle cruise that went from Rome to Pisa to Monte Carlo to Saint-Tropez and to Ibiza and to the Naked City in Cap d'Agde, and then ended in Spain, in Barcelona. And it was epic the whole time, with swingers on the boat every night, and then seeing amazing sights during the day. So it was fantastic. It's the only time we've ever done Europe. And there's no question that Americans are very Anglo-centric. Like, we think the world should all speak English, and they do not. So in this case, we really didn't have any trouble. But this time we're going, and I got a question for you just out of curiosity. We're going to go to these places, and we recognize, as we found before, that sometimes people speak French, and we don't speak any French, so some sexy, teasing and maybe flirting happens, but we don't really speak the same language, so this is not going to go any further. But that's kind of a fantasy for some people. So I'm curious for you, just a quick question we sometimes ask people. Have you ever had full sex, with someone whose name you didn't know? Like, you couldn't communicate with them. Or maybe you could communicate, you just never got around to, I didn't find out what your name was. Have you ever had full penetrative sex with someone whose name you didn't know?
No, for me. But I've had sex with people I don't remember their names, as we say here today.
Yeah, okay.
Like, I remember the act, but I'm like, Chris Pratt, I have no idea.
The answer for me is yes.
Yeah.
But okay, guys, I'm not as old as this is going to make me sound. I met a girl in AOL, and all I knew was her screen name, and I never asked anything else.
Nice. Well, there's something erotic and sexy about that, right?
Yeah.
Of interest, though, when we asked that question on the show, it was amazing to us, the answers we got back from experienced swingers. In fact, we were on the cruise ship to Havana, Cuba with swingers, and when we asked people on the boat, and so very experienced people are answering it, and by far, 90% of the answers, maybe 95% of the answers were, no, I have never had sex with someone whose name I didn't know. And we thought that says something, because usually we think of swingers, like the vanilla world thinks of swingers like indiscriminate, key parties. I don't care. I don't need to know you. I just want to have sex. That's really not what swingers are.
No.
Most of the time, their relationships get built and you become good friends with people, and that makes them sexier. So amazing how many people would say no. It's a rarity for what you're able to say. Now, all of that goes back around to saying we're going to Europe, where we're going to encounter people whose names we aren't going to be able to know, because we aren't going to be able to speak very well with them, because we want to speak Dutch. So what do you think?
I think that we are going into that club with nothing more than recon. We want to see it. I hear there's beautiful gardens all around it. Like, they say the gardens around this club are beautiful. So, and we'll have Kate and Daryl, who will be our backups and help us. And what does this mean? But we are not going in with, I want to have sex with someone at this club. We're going in with, we are going to see this club. It's supposed to be all the food, all the alcohol, one price. Everybody gets naked at
11:30.
11:30. You have to get in lingerie, and guys have to be in underwear. Like, I just want to see the atmosphere compared to clubs.
But would you shy away from it if the opportunity presents itself and there's a language
I would
barrier?
not shy away from it.
I would encourage you. I think it would be so hot to watch her with somebody.
I can't wait for Daryl to run up to her and go, Paige, that word means anal. Stop.
I hope He probably wouldn't tell me. I hope he'd tell me.
That's going to be so good. So are you guys going to bang your way around Europe once you finish with the United States? Or?
I don't know. You know what? We're there to be tourists, and it's, we espouse a lifestyle of balance in all things and everything in moderation, and swinging is a part of our life, but it's not all of our life. So we'll have a little fun for that, and then we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how this trip goes. This is our first trip, just the two of us for the most part.
To Europe.
So we'll see how we do.
Right. But that brings us to today. So for whatever it's worth, as you know, and now we look forward for the next few months because we have a few more months in our, Victory Lab tour. And that brings you in, of course, because we're now headed to next month, which will be June, is PCAP.
Yes.
We get to see you. So we've already talked about what fun PCAP is. And we already obviously have indicated that Kate and Daryl are spectacular people. If you don't know them, this is an awesome chance to meet them and other spectacular people like the ones we're here at this cabin with. So come to PCAP. We really would encourage you. But we're looking forward to that because it's a chance to be with friends. That's like a friend's atmosphere.
Yeah.
It really is. This is the best thing. It's, I think you guys say that it's part of your life, but it's not all of your life. And that's certainly the case for us. But it is who we are. We couldn't stop, right? If I fall off a cliff, like the one we're on right now, and that's the end, I mean, just throw some shit on top of me and go home. But, Mallory wouldn't stop being, lifestyle is who we are. It's not what we do.
Yeah, I do. And we've had this, discussion, debate, and discourse around it. I feel like it's an orientation for me. It's just, this is where I'm the happiest. Could I be monogamous? Yes, but I don't know that I'd be happy.
Yeah.
I think this allows me to be my most authentic self, my truest self.
And PCAP does let us do that with people that are like us. And that is amazing because there are a lot of people in this world that look down on us, which is partially why you guys have been so discreet about your lives and your lifestyle with your kids and your businesses and things. And obviously, we've to a great extent been that way, but we've started to stop. We're like, look, if you don't like us for who we are, then we don't need you around anymore. We're done with
That's
it.
Right. That is part of the beauty of getting to a point in life where we become empty nesters and our children are grown, is we remember, we've done this for maybe 12 years or something like that, and our kids were all in grade school and middle school when we first got in the lifestyle, and it was a giant secret to be hidden, and we were deathly afraid that would get out and they would have to deal with the questions and the shame and the answering things for their parents. And we did not ever want that to happen. But you get to a stage in your life where we are, and you maybe are approaching, and certainly a lot of your listeners can appreciate where you go, you know what? I don't really give a damn what anybody thinks. This is
my bedroom.
I don't
Get
care.
out.
Like,
Don't come in.
Think I'm a pervert. And you can whisper behind me on my back. I really don't care because I'm having a good time. I live my life.
Keep it there.
Yeah,
keep it out of my face. Do whatever you want on your own time.
Well, you two like it from behind anyway, so it's fine. But we're kind of running up on time here, and we could talk to you guys all day and all night. We've seen us do it for the last couple of days. But let's do this. Remind people again how to find the Swinger Diaries if you've enjoyed the last 45 minutes of your life, which I hope you have, like we have. I have. So this was just kind of their gift to you guys to get back on the air with us, and it was certainly fun for us. So remind everybody how to find that double dose of the Swinger Diary.
Yeah, if you'd like a link to the podcast or just get in touch with us, our Gmail is still open. So ourswingerdiaries@gmail.com.
Yeah, so we always spell it on the show. It's OURSWINGERDIARIES, ourswingerdiaries@gmail.com. That's how you find us. But more importantly, how you find us is, for those we've left hanging, that will get us through June. But in July, we will be at
Naughty
in New Orleans.
Naughty.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're going back
gonna
to
be
Naughty.
at Naughty in New Orleans. Actually, my birthday is that week. So
celebrate Penn's birthday.
So we would
Is that
love
a CUM?
We'd love to meet listeners again and just see friends. We're going to see a bunch of awesome people. So we will be at Naughty New Orleans for July. And then that will wrap us up for one full year. When we'll go back in August, we'll make one more trip to Desire.
Yep, we'll be at Desire in August, the beginning of
year of
August.
sexy vacations.
And then we did it.
Wow. Yeah. And at that point, Penn will look like the Crypt Keeper because his balls will have drained all the moisture from his body. There will be nothing left. But that's fantastic. Well, guys, thank you so much for making time for us. And, your friendship is appreciated, and we have missed you on the air. So it's really great to actually get to see and hang out with you guys.
Sincerely, this has been such a treat.
Well,
well,
we're
thanks for
honored.
having us.
We're honored that people would still care what the hell we have to say. But you can rest assured, we're not. We didn't die, and we didn't stop swinging.
That's good news.
We didn't crawl in a hole. We're out. We're having an awesome time.
I was going to say, I love that you guys are living your best life and celebrating it and relishing it and being very intentional with it.
Very.
That's
Yeah, no, you had one more thing, actually. There was a rumor of a blog. Is that going to happen?
Ooh, yes.
Well, I don't know if Paige's fingers get into it because I'm not much of a typist. But I don't know, maybe if she gets motivated.
Mm-hmm. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I'll subscribe.
Just saying. Well, hey, Mallory, you want to do the thing for everybody?
Yeah, well, I can do that, I think. It's been a minute. So we are Casual Swinger everywhere. That's casualswinger.com. You can find us, reach us at podcast@casualswinger.com. If you'd like to find us on social media, that's Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Sexy Twitter. And the dating sites, Cassidy, SCCSLS, and Double Date Nation.
All right, that'll do it. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been an hour with our friends, the Swinger Diaries. We're going to let them get out of here and get back on that beautiful little airplane and fly around and do sexy stuff. Come back and join us again. After this, we have the breast episode ever coming your way.
So excited.
Dr. David Plank. So that's coming up in a couple of weeks. Thank you so much. You've been listening to Casual Swinger.